This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the government has announced a raft of major funding announcements in Dunedin, with the city set to receive about $60 million. This year's Otago Correctional Facilities Careers Expo is hoping to break down barriers between people with a criminal history and potential employers. And adults and children got to enjoy the Southland Society of Model Engineers annual train event in Invercargill over the long weekend. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Daryl Baser. Dunedin is set to benefit after the government announced a massive cash injection for the city today. More than $57 million from the Provincial Growth Fund has been allocated for a number of projects. These include the revitalisation of South Dunedin's Hillside Workshop and the Steamer Basin redevelopment.
This is an exciting day for this part of Aotearoa. These are not the only announcements that the government is focused on.
Government Ministers Shane Jones and David Parker announced today 3 major funding projects for the city from the Provincial Growth Fund.
There's quite a lot of money going into an engineering cluster, $20 million for restarting Hillside Workshops, some money for Scott Technology, who are a world-leading robotics firm. The second part is the Centre of Digital Excellence, which brings together game writing expertise, combines it with university expertise, including in the medical school, to push forward in New Zealand's journey to export digital products. And the third is the $20 million contribution to the redevelopment of the Steamer Basin.
$19 million is earmarked for the first stage of the Waterfront Development Plan, which involves constructing the wharf infrastructure and public space and will complement the Dunedin City Council's plans to develop a pedestrian and cycling bridge connecting the waterfront to the city. Almost $20 million is being dedicated to re-establish KiwiRail's Hillside Workshop, once a key part of New Zealand's rail infrastructure.
Hillside in particular has always been an iconic part of Dunedin's industrial heritage. It was left to almost wither and die, and it's been great to see it resuscitated with the capital investment from government. And I think the commitment to take on 10% of the workforce as apprentices is a great way to future-proof the engineering industry here in Dunedin.
$10 million has also been earmarked to help establish Dunedin as a digital hub for the New Zealand video gaming industry. The New Zealand Centre of Digital Excellence, as it will be known, is expected to create hundreds of new jobs in the city.
Well, all of these things assist in lifting productivity. The jobs will vary. There will be new apprenticeships in the engineering area. There will be jobs in the computer programming space, and of course there will be construction-related jobs down at the waterfront.
And more than $5 million has also been allocated for a manufacturing agricultural technology business unit within the Dunedin-based company Scott Technology. In Dunedin, The South Today.
A plan to heat central Dunedin buildings with the biggest eco-heating scheme in the country is set to advance to the next stage. The system would replace the coal-fired burner with one fuelled by wood chips sourced from the local forestry residue. When biomass comes from sustainably managed forest, it's seen as a carbon-neutral fuel. The Dunedin Energy Centre heats the Dunedin Hospital and University of Otago and used to heat the former Cadbury factory. Hot water is distributed through a piped network for air conditioning or domestic hot water. The new system is set to run along George Street in a big expansion of its reach. This year's Otago Correctional Facilities Careers Expo is hoping to break down barriers between people with a criminal record and possible employers. 40 inmates met up with potential employers yesterday for a speed recruiting session at Melbourne Prison.
A Careers Expo was held yesterday at the Otago Corrections Facility in Melbourne to provide job opportunities for 40 soon-to-be-released inmates. About 25 representatives from 17 organisations, 2 of them tertiary institutions, took part in a speed recruiting session and meet and greet to talk to inmates about the possibility of future employment.
Giving the men an opportunity to see what's out there, see what kind of employment opportunities are available to them. It also gives them the opportunity to have conversations with employers about their criminal history and in a safe environment, because obviously we're in a prison, so everybody knows that they've got criminal convictions being in here.
In the past 2 years, nearly 3,000 inmates across the country have found work under the Department of Corrections pilot scheme.
Well, it's really important to give them certainty before they're released from prison and help their transition back into the community. If you know that you've got a job to go to, that you'll have some income coming in, it just creates a lot more certainty and relieves a lot of pressure on the prisoners to leave here and to not know that you've got a job, not know that you're going to have money to pay the bills and buy food and the rent. It must be quite scary for them.
Local company Calder Stewart has been using the program for several years to find employees.
They turn up on time. Someone obviously here is getting them out of bed on time. They do a good day's work. They come back at the end of the day. We have no problems. I guess we have confidence in the program that we're not actually sent anybody that isn't going to be a good worker.
A soon-to-be-released prisoner says he's gained confidence by going through the interview process.
I do one sort of outside the box. I want to pursue the art sort of industry, which is like way out the box for what these fellas are looking for, but it's good because I definitely need something to get my feet on the ground when I get out. I can't just go straight into that industry because I don't know enough about it.
In Melbourne, The South Today.
Both adults and children got to enjoy the Southland Society of Model Engineers annual train event in Invercargill over Labour weekend. The Great Little Train Show gathered rail enthusiasts, families and children at the Surrey Park to experience model trains on all scales.
Each Labour weekend, Invercargill's Surrey Park is the site of the Great Little Train Show, with around 2,000 train rides being enjoyed by the public.
We've got, of course, our outside track which runs trains all day and is the highlight for the kids to come to the show and get the ride on the outside train. Indoors
and on a smaller scale, other exhibitors showed off their model railway layouts.
So Reese designed it all. He drew all the pictures and then I pretty much just built what he designed. So he got a wee train from his granddad and we just built around just a small track.
The event is an opportunity for all sorts of hobbyists to share their passion with the public.
We've got 32 exhibitors of model train layouts and we've got about 5 other exhibitors. We've got the Woodworkers Guild and we've got some model clubs. So it's a very busy weekend.
In Invercargill, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, we see which 4-legged animals attracted a flock of onlookers in Rangiora, and an Ashburton garden which was created in 1985 by Alan Trott is being celebrated. We'll see you after the break.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sonny Chick.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Nau mai anō, welcome back. People of all ages flocked to see the sheep at the Rangiora show on Saturday. Youngsters were leading their pets lambs, while older farmers were spinning yarns on a beautiful mid-Canterbury day.
Both rural folk and townies got to enjoy Saturday's Rangiora show north of Christchurch. Newly elected Waimakariri Mayor Dan Gordon says the rural economy is very important for New Zealand, and shows such as this provide a chance for people to learn a bit about farming.
When our farmers do well, we do well. So it's a very important part of our economy. That's why it's important that we have AMP shows for the local community to come along and see the stock, see what actually happens. And it's really important for kids and families alike to come along and experience that.
He says he's seeing the Waimakariri Council creating a portfolio to address climate change issues and working hand in hand with other water use strategies.
The Water Zone Committee and Water Management are very important issues over this term. Clean Change 7, which ECAN are taking the lead in, and our council will be involved in that space. So setting up a portfolio in climate change and sustainability is really a really important part of that, and I wanted to signal that as an important focus for my council.
Gordon has a 10-acre lifestyle block, which at times he stocks with his favourite sheep breed.
Suffolk are my favourite because my mother used to have Siamese cats, so we purchased them because they've got that sort of look to them. But they're actually very nice sheep. They have nice wool and good temperament. But there's some lovely stock here, and credit to the farmers that have brought them along to show today.
Canterbury farmer and sheep judge Hugh Taylor says sheep farmers have been enjoying the highest prices for livestock they've ever experienced. And he says this season looks like it's on the improve.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Some people are struggling with their hoggers a wee bit. Generally, there's been plenty of good rainfall and growth's been slow, but it's starting to catch up a wee bit now.
The show saw contestants from north of the Rakaia River being put through their paces as part of next year's Young Farmer of the Year contest. Young farmer clubs exist across the country to help young people get some experience with farming.
Oh, it's all about giving it a go. You never know who you're going to meet. The networking opportunities are endless. Even one guy today came up to me and he's 15 and he's like, hey, I want to get into the farming industry. I'm working on a farm but I go to school in town. Could I join your club? And I said, yeah, no problem. And if anything, we'll be able to support him through his journey going into the rural sector for work.
Foley says anyone can get involved with working in the agricultural sector.
And even in our Young Farmers Club, we've got teachers, jet boat builders, contractors, dairy farmers, people from rural backgrounds and not from rural backgrounds. It's definitely allowed me to pass on that knowledge to other people in a similar boat to me. You can be a townie, but you can also work in the rural sector.
The top 4 place getters from each Young Farmers event qualified for the regional final to be held next March. In Rangiora, the South Today.
A garden of international significance just north of Ashburton is opening its gates to the public so more people can see its splendour. The garden was started in 1985 by local horticulturalist Alan Trott, who transformed a bare paddock into a world-recognised garden.
Trott's Garden on Racecourse Road just north of Ashburton is no longer charging a $15 entry fee and instead inviting the public to enjoy this little slice of paradise for free.
The garden is going to be free because the Trust would like more people to come out to the garden. We want everybody to come and enjoy it. We want to be a place where you can bring a picnic and hang out and just enjoy the beautiful surrounds that Alan and Catherine Trott have created.
Started in 1985 by local horticulturalist Alan Trott, the garden features 50 species of magnolia, 70 kinds of maples and around 650 rhododendrons, all underplanted with woodland plants and ground cover. Walker says several of the garden's unique features have elevated it to being a garden of international significance.
We've got the knot garden, which is very special because of the design. We have the red border, which is a little bit famous also for all the red foliage. And Alan is very well known for his love of rhododendrons. So we have a plethora of colourful rhododendrons.
More than 80 volunteers help out the 2 paid staff to keep the garden in top shape. Rhododendrons are just starting to flower, while midsummer is when the perennials come into their own. In Ashburton, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, Cromwell has hosted a nationwide dog show for the first time, and we look at the weather for Thursday and heading into the weekend. See you after the break.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Miller's Flat Bakery, proudly opening this Labour weekend after a long labour of love. The Restoration Trust has brought back to life this historic part of the main Central Otago transport route. Come see the only wood-fired bakery oven in New Zealand. Turn off at the Miller's Flat Blue Bridge and bring the whole family to enjoy some tasty fresh baked goods the old-fashioned way, before electricity. That's the Miller's Flat Bakery opening Labour weekend.
Risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
When we arrived at the harbour there, German planes were starving these fishing boats that were trying to flee. Often wonder what would have happened if we had managed to escape.
Memories of Nazi-occupied Holland, Sunday at 1 p.m.
Thanks for staying with us. The New Zealand Dog Agility Championships were held for the first time in Cromwell over Labour weekend. It was a busy 4 days for competitors from across the country.
For the first time in central Otago, the annual New Zealand Dog Agility Championships were held in Cromwell over the weekend. Seasoned veteran Jake Ramon was one of the youngest competitors over the 4-day event, seen here with his 11-year-old Shih Tzu cross toy poodle called Toto.
Toto's actually 11, so it's her last competition. But yeah, so we've been competing since she was 1.5. A couple of years back, she got she won the under 20 national trophy.
He says Toto's diminutive size can have its advantages in dog agility challenges.
She's really good at turning tight. So obviously, because of her tiny little legs, she's not as quick across the ground, but she makes up for that with how tight she can turn.
Dog owners were able to enter their pets in several categories, resulting in more than 4,500 entrants. In Cromwell, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The government has announced a major raft of funding announcements in Dunedin, with the city set to receive about $60 million. This year's Otago Correctional Facilities Careers Expo is hoping to break down barriers between people with a criminal history and potential employers. And adults and children got to enjoy the Southland Society of Model Engineers annual train event in Invercargill over Labour weekend. Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome the editor, Mr. Barry Stewart.
Hi, Daryl. Provincial Growth Fund has come to Dunedin, as you've earlier indicated. So we have all the announcements in reaction to the biggest boost to the city in decades, with the government, as mentioned, pushing in $60 million to the city. So great news there. DCC, associated with that, DCC says the waterfront development plan can go ahead with the 20 million, or nearly 20 million from the fund, and despite that figure being significantly below what was asked for or hoped for. Research designed to further improve the effectiveness of powerful new anti-cancer drugs is among University of Otago projects boosted by a $3.8 million Career Development Award. So good news there, further progress on that development. Otago's Ben Smith. We have not seen the last of Ben Smith. He will get a chance to cap off a outstanding All Black career in the World Cup third place playoff against Wales on Friday. So Smith has been selected on the wing in a revamped side, 8 changes, 1 positional to the team to play Wales from the team that lost, of course, in the semi-final against England last weekend. We'll forget about that though. Also in the paper tomorrow, look out for a special guide to the Home and Living show on at Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin at the weekend. There's some great activities at the show, including your first opportunity to purchase a book by ODT Illustrations editor Stephen Jackery, 40 years life behind the lens. Some great photos there, so look out for that at the show, amongst many other activities.
Excellent. That's a huge
event. Got a little promo in there, but
well done.
A bit. Yeah.
And Stephen's career has been pretty amazing today.
Yeah, indeed.
Cool. Thank you, Barry. All that and more on tomorrow's ODT. Time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, taken before Dunedin's weather turned sour. Looking at the situation, a cold southwesterly airflow tomorrow could bring strong gale force winds to the coast, but it should be mostly fine inland. It'll be warmer with northwesterly winds arriving for the weekend. Heading straight for the southern towns, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden can all expect strong southwesterlies and showers with highs of 12 degrees. Heading across to the Central Lakes region, Alexandra, Queenstown and Wanaka are all set for moderate southwesterlies with fine weather and a high of 14 degrees. Te Anau can expect strong southwesterlies and showers with a high of 11 degrees. Up to the northern towns, Waimaru has fresh southwesterlies and some cloud with a high of 13 degrees. Timaru can expect moderate southwesterlies and mostly fine weather and a high of 14 degrees. Heading inland, Omarama and Twizel, you can expect moderate southwesterlies with fine weather and a high of 15 degrees. In Dunedin, it should become fine with westerly winds tonight and an overnight low of 7 degrees. It'll be mostly fine tomorrow with sunny periods at first, then becoming cloudy during the morning with strong cool southwesterly winds. A few brief showers are possible mid-afternoon, then it'll become fine and sunny during the evening. A high of 13 and a low of 7. It should be mostly cloudy and cool on Friday with fresh gusty southwesterlies, a high of 12 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill tonight, it should be mostly cloudy with strong southwesterly winds and an overnight low of 6. It should be cloudy tomorrow with a few showers at times. Expect cool temperatures and strong to near gale force southwesterlies, a high of 13 and a low of 9. It'll become fine on Friday with sunny periods increasing and strong southwesterlies easing, a high of 13 and a low of 8. And that's all from the South Today team for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.